What up, YouTube? We got a nice day here in Kansas City, so we're going to be doing an oil change on this 1998 Toyota Avalon V6. Stay tuned. Alright, here's the vehicle. We got her all up on the ramps, so I'm going to go get my moving blanket so I can lay down, and we'll get up under there and we'll get started. Right, so we got our moving blanket down, we got our oil catch pan underneath, and we got our hood popped here. So we're probably going to be doing a little bit of a basic inspection on this vehicle as well, because it hasn't been looked over for a while. And right off the bat, I'm noticing that we got a valve cover gasket leak here, and it actually looks like a pretty dang bad one. And then when you come down to the bottom of the vehicle, we've got some oil drips here. So we're definitely losing oil for sure. And then here's our drain plug. Normally that's a 14 millimeter. I'm hoping that it is on this vehicle as well. And then up here is our oil filter, nice and easy to get to, right under the exhaust manifold. And another thing I'm noticing here, which when I first turned the vehicle on, it felt like the steering was hard to steer. And we've got a lot of fluid here on the chassis to the side. And it does kind of look like our power steering fluid is low here. We will want to track down a power steering leak. Also looks like the coolant may be slightly over full, and we've definitely got some sort of a coolant leak coming from this reservoir. You can also see evidence that it has dripped down onto these brake lines here. So we've got an oil leak, a coolant leak, and a power steering fluid leak. Excellent. Let's get started with the oil change, and we'll see what else we can find. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get this drain plug out. I believe there is a possibility that this oil pan could also be leaking, but never really know until we fix the other leaks that are going on above. Just a tip for anyone who's not super experienced with automotive leak detection: you generally want to go forward and up to find your leak. So naturally, if you have a leak at the top, it's going to go down and to the rear as you drive. Another thing I noticed, we've got a torn power steering boot right there as well, and we got some fluid over here, but that could be from something else. Who really knows? I mean, there's fluid all over this thing down here. And then another thing too that I know about this car is this flex pipe here is broken. This piece right here, it has an exhaust leak because this is broken. So we'll probably have to cut that off and replace at least a part of it. But unfortunately, it kind of looks like from the flange where it bolts on up there, and then we follow the pipe down here, and then I don't know if there's supposed to be a clamp here or if that's just a weld or what. And then of course it bolts onto the other manifold here, and then it unbolts after the resonator. So I believe this would be what they call a Y pipe, maybe. But one way or another, that's a fairly large portion of the exhaust here that needs to be replaced as well. Looks like our oil is finally done draining, so we'll go ahead and put this back in, tighten it up, and we'll go for that filter. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and try to twist this oil filter off. Hopefully it's not super tight. Okay, perfect. Looks like I need to adjust my pan a little bit. And we'll go ahead and loosen this up, take it off, put the new one on. Go ahead and just dump it down, pull it through. Do you need some new headlights for your vehicle? How about some turn signals? Some that are actually very bright. Click the link in the description below and check out Auxito LEDs. And if you use code AndysAuto, you'll get 15% off your order. Now back to the video. Alright, so we got this new filter already pre-lubed the O-ring on it. Just going to go ahead and twist her on here. I already took out the oil cap, got our oil here ready to go. And then of course, once we're done with this, I'm going to try to clean up the spillage a little bit. So I'm going to do that, and we're going to pour this oil in. Alright, so we're going in with this oil, and I really hope that funnel doesn't fall on me, because I am filming and pouring, trying to keep an eye on that bottom area too, so it doesn't overflow on me. But once we get this in, we'll be almost done. Alright, so off camera I went ahead and cleaned up these two reservoirs a little bit. Brought the coolant reservoir down to the proper level, or at least close to it. It's not all the way full to the top anymore. Then I went ahead and topped off the power steering fluid, and I cleaned up these lines a little bit with some brake cleaner. So I got all the oil in. We're going to go ahead and put this cap back on, pull the vehicle off of the ramps, and then we're going to see if the power steering leak presents itself while it's running. I imagine we probably fixed the coolant leak. Then of course for the oil leak, we're going to need some valve cover gaskets, so I'll go ahead and talk to my brother about that, because that's his car. So we're going to go ahead and pull it off now and see what's up with the power steering. Well, it's kind of difficult to tell. I got the engine running, and it looks like these hoses might be a little wet, so it may be just seepage. But looking down here, you can see this other hose is wet and it's been chafing against the frame. And then way down here, where this line goes to the pump. It's hard to see, but it looks pretty wet down there as well, near the pump. But that could also be because of the valve cover gasket. So it's steering now, and it's definitely not a super fast leak, so I'm just going to let my brother know what's going on, and we'll just go from there. But if it was my vehicle, I'd probably recommend a pump and both hoses. That's going to be the end of the video for today, guys. Just a quick oil change and leak diagnosis. Please like the video and leave a comment below, and if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, I will see you on the next one. This is Andy, signing off.